Testing, 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 testing. Okay.
We still got a little bit of time. Mine says 10:01. That says 1, 2. 10:01. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, class. Well, welcome to our October coffee hour. It's good to see you all here. Everybody's got some winter stuff on. It was a little bit chilly this morning, so it's a nice fall morning. So, but we're glad you're here. We're glad you're joining us in person. And for those of you at home, you know, we're excited to be able to give you some good departmental updates. And we've had a few questions submitted via email to Michelle, so we'll try our best to answer those and then take any questions that you have after that. So we'll go ahead and get started with Betsy.
It's always easy to start with me. I always have happy things to say. Good morning, everybody. Oh, yay. And I would like y'all all to know that today is Bosses Day, and we have the best boss here. Yay! We're very lucky to have April. Okay, so a few things. I want to tell you guys that as of today, we've had 27 new move-ins and 48 new people. Our average, just so y'all know, is like 16 a year. So we've got a lot of move-ins this year. We have 9 more expected before the end of the year. We could squeeze in another one if things move faster than I expect, but 9 and then 14 more people. So that's a lot in 1 year. Thank you for being so welcoming and kind, and everyone. The first trip here is like when people move in, they still feel the same way, just like I do after all these 8 years. Everybody's still glad that they chose us, so thank you. We've had 65 wait list deposits as of today this year, and as of today last year at this time, we had 44. Woo! Yes. Okay, so the big news this week is we have our first tour of homes. So on Thursday, between 2 and 4, we're expecting about 70 people to tour the community. We're going to tour 2 apartments and 3 garden homes. And do not worry, because we're not coming to your house. If you would know if we were. And so we're really excited about that. We're not going to see amenities. We're really just seeing the residences. Before today, so we've had a lot of people register this week, but so before this week, most of the folks coming were already on our wait list. So they're just eager to see how people have decorated, wanted maybe select another couple of options for their future. Well, now half of these people are coming, they've never been here before. So that's really, really great. We're going to show off our community to a lot of new people. Hopefully what this means is they'll see the residences, they'll love it, and they're going to want to then come back and have a personal tour. That's the goal. And speaking of personal tours, y'all know that Clark and I generally use Fireside Parlor when we're able to have our meetings, our consultations. If you guys use Fireside Parlor, particularly on Sunday afternoons or in the evenings, either leave me a message or so that we'll know to straighten it up. I try to remember to go into Fireside Parlor every morning just to make it look like we want it to look. But I know this is your home and y'all use that space. I just need to know that I need to put it back together again. So if it's an activity that's in there that isn't on the calendar, if you can just let us know so we can be, in case I forget, okay? Thank you all. Y'all have any questions for me? All right, thank you for making everything so easy for me.
Thank you, Betsy. Go ahead and call Carrie up.
Good morning, and happy Bosses Day to the best boss. The dog park fence was redesigned. We had some complaints about the fence being in front of the gazebo, so we redesigned it where people could sit there and the dogs come in. Pressure washing for the garden homes were completed. Soon as the construction is done on Duncan Circle, we will wash them garden homes also. Generators are complete on Lakewood Court. We had one on Duncan Circle. They started it yesterday, and once we finish that one, we go to Village Court. I think is maybe 4 left. So we'll start on Village Court. Then beginning of 2025, we'll start the rest. By installing generators, we have noticed a lot of stuff in the utility rooms. So the utility rooms, we need to have access to them in case we have emergency where we got to turn the power off quickly. So if y'all could, we probably need to work on getting it consolidated better or put some of the stuff in the garage. So if you need, not the garage, but the attic. So if you need help doing that, just call Lisa and we can help you move that. Fall planting started today, so that will probably go on the rest of the week, and fall pruning started 3 weeks ago or so, Dale. So I think they just have the common areas left. If y'all notice in locations that they didn't get, just let us know and we can get it completed for you. Flooring started in Village Landing yesterday, so they got the main entrance completed. So within the next couple of weeks, they'll start the main hall. We going from the elevators all the way to the breezeway right there at the double doors to the connector to Village Square. Facility services, we are noticing a lot of contractors out on the property at people's houses in the apartment building that we didn't contract to come in and do work. We need to be notified if y'all have something done yourself, because they got to have liability insurance in case something happens. So if they tear something up, burn the house down, it won't be good. So we need to be notified prior to that contractor coming out to y'all's location to do whatever's being done. So just let us know where they can send us their insurance information. We are experiencing more residents parking in the Wellness Center parking lot right in front of the Wellness Center. We still have rehab people coming in. So if you can, try to park on the opposite side where we can leave that area open to rehab patients. And then pendants, we had a question about the pendants. Are they GPS? No, they are not. They based on access points. So all through the campus, we got different access points that's labeled, and that's how we find the resident that pushed their pendant. So if somebody pushed their pendant right here, it would probably give the gathering place, it'd probably give healthcare, probably give Village Court, and probably Lakewood Court. So it gives a vicinity where you look for that resident, but it's not GPS based. So it's access point based. So it gives a pretty good general idea where that person's at. Hold on, Max. You got the microphone for him? Yeah.
What is the area of the parking lot? If someone falls in the parking lot, which they've done a couple times, what area does that cover?
It depends on what parking lot you fall. Good example last week, I think it was, we had a resident fell out in front of Village Landing. So it give Duncan Circle, because that's where some of the access points is, and then the apartment building. So we know that person was somewhere within that vicinity, so we start out at a certain point and work our way around.
Carrie, what is there the possibility of switching to a GPS pendant in the future so that you would be able to pinpoint somebody and go to them right now?
We could look into it in the future.
Because,
see.
that's kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, I know the situation we had last week, it was pushed because I can pull up on the camera, see when the person got there, the first person. So that person fell they pushed the pendant, and then within 5 minutes, we were on site. The other resident that went out there, he was walking his dog and seen the person, and he come inside and got Jody from housekeeping. So Jody come right out there pretty quick, and then Scott showed up, because during the day, depends on what time it is, Dwayne leaves at 4, we may not have but a couple of people here. They may be over in Edgewood working, so they have to stop and what they doing and take off, and then we could be tied up in a meeting or something. But 5 minutes is a long time, but it was pretty quick. They got there pretty quick. So, any more questions? Got one right there, Max, to your left.
Carrie, yes, thank you. The generators, we had talked at one point in time about getting them, they self-test every week.
Yes.
Has that been scheduled? And if so, what day and what time would we expect them to
They should be, is it Wednesday? I think Wednesday at 1 o'clock. That's what we told them.
go on?
So,
All of them, same time?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
How much of the house load, if you will, at a residence can those generators support?
full load, so it operates everything, the heat, cooling, all, so you're good. And, I mean, once you lose power within 8 seconds or so, that generator should be up and operating and running. So it should transition right back over.
Hey, I'm Sarah Williams. I park my car out in the parking lot close to the swimming pool center.
Yes.
And my hood is covered, I've talked with you about it,
Yes, ma'am.
is covered with the black spots. And I don't know how to get them off. Do you have any idea? Because I've taken it to the wash and doesn't touch it.
You probably would have to go somewhere that hand washes it. What she's talking about, we found out that it's called artillery fungus. So the mulch, due to all the rain we've had, it grows a fungus that shoots off in the air and gets on people's cars. So, and the way to take care of it is turn the mulch over. So Brightview come out a couple of weeks ago and turned it over. So what I would do, if you can, I wouldn't park right there at the mulch right now. So I would park away, but you probably, what I've read up from other people, you need to try to get the black spots off because it will pit it, they said.
Can you help us with that, the black spots?
We could probably find somebody that can come in. This week we've been short 2 guys, so we're short-handed in maintenance this week. So just call Lisa and we can maybe get a contractor that could come in and hand wash it and do it. Right here, Max. Limo.
That uses brushes
Yeah,
is pretty effective.
it is?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Melver said the car washes that use the brushes are pretty effective. Okay. Okay, just one more question, and if anybody else has any, just get with me or email me. Good? Thank y'all.
Yeah, so Carrie and I will get together and, is this back on? Yeah. Carrie and I will get together and we'll work on, maybe contracting with some type of car cleaning company and see what we can do to help prevent that. Obviously, the rain that we've had this year is a little bit higher than we normally get on an annual basis. So we'll do what we can to make sure that we get you taken care of. Yes, John?
Question about liability for that. Bright Spire was responsible for choosing the mulch that was put down. It seems to me that they should have been more cognizant of the fact that we do get rain in the fall
Yeah.
every year. And if they lay it down there, it seems to me that it was their negligence, let me put it that way.
Okay.
It could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be at Lowe's or somewhere like that. The mulch is treated for pests and stuff like that, but, I mean, all the rain we had, it could happen anywhere. It's just not here.
It's not my fault that I parked in a dangerous spot, that it wasn't marked danger.
Yeah, okay. So John's comment was, he said Bright Spire, but it's actually Bright View is our, I don't want to get that confused. So Bright View is our landscape company. Like Carrie said, John was speaking of the liability aspect of Bright View, knowing that mulch could potentially do this. I think negligence on this case is a strong word, but that's fine. As Carrie said, it could happen with any type of mulch, whether it's from, my landscapers that I use at my house or the landscapers that we use here, or if you go to Lowe's and get a bag of mulch. Again, we've had record rainfall. Quite frankly, we had a hurricane in the western part of the state. That never happens. So there's lots of what-ifs and a lot of anomalies that have happened this year. But we will get with Brightview. We will get with a car cleaning service and see what we can do to best serve our residents. No. So the question or statement was, can we change from mulch to pine straw? Quite frankly, Sarah, no. So we had pine straw for a number of years. Pine straw is very flammable. It was brought before the property committee. Yes, pine straw is very flammable. It holds insects. It attracts snakes. So we made the decision 2 years ago, two or 3 years ago, to switch to mulch. And so that's what we're going to stick with. Yes, Becky.
With that artillery mulch when we lived out in the country, and really doing research on it, the only two things that are very resistant to that mulch, and it doesn't matter about the rainfall. Yeah, wet is, but it doesn't really matter. It's the type of material, and that shredded bark mulch, it just grows in there. And so the only two types of material are either that are resistant are pine straw or the large pine bark nuggets, because they stay drier than the shredded mulch does. And the only way to get rid of it completely is to use non-organic material. And that is either rocks, or they have rubber that looks like mulch that can be put down, or just take the mulch up, get rid of it, and put, grass there. I know you don't want it next to the cars, but I have parked in that where the stairs are, from going up and down in the Village Landing. And they have come, and literally one day I had to go back upstairs and get my long horsehair brush that I had saved and brush my car off the hood, the windshield, the everything. I couldn't even go anywhere because all the grass was left up there. And my one suggestion that would be easy right now, since there's more residents coming in there and there's a lot of parking out here at the Village Landing, is that strip where the trees are and where the stairs are in between the elevated parking and the lower parking, just don't put any mulch around the trees. That would give a lot of parking with nothing there. And that would be a quick, easy solution, at least to a long strip of parking that would not cause that problem. But that mulch, if you don't get that off within 2 or 3 weeks, and I have literally been out there in the summer and had to scrub mine because I found those brown spots on the car. But if you don't get it off within 2 or 3 weeks, and car washes aren't really effective, you have to get out there and hand do it. And I took my bucket out there and my cleaner and all that and had to, scrub and scrub and scrub to get that off. So now I'm parking in a different place. But it will eat through the clear coat. It will get down into the paint, and it will literally, you have to have your car repainted.
Okay,
So,
all right. Thank you for the history and feedback of that. Again, Carrie and I will work with Brightview, as well as trying to secure some type of car cleaning service. And then working with Brightview in the future to look at more reasonable accommodations for some kind of ground cover. So thank you for that. Okay. Lynette, you want to come on up?
Good morning. I want to start with, I just want to thank everybody that participated in our Be Kind event we had for Employee Council. We had 500 flowers and note cards go out to people. So it was a lot of fun. So thank everybody that participated with that, and we'll definitely do that again because I think everybody really liked it. The second thing I have is just to let everybody know tomorrow, accounting will be putting a packet of paperwork in your cubbies, and it will have your 2025 rate that will be starting January 1st. We're going to have a packet of ancillary charges listed in there for the upcoming year, as well as the meal buy-ups. And the meal buy-up has to be done every year. So if you signed up for it this year and you want to keep the same thing, just complete that form in the packet. And we'll put two, if there's 2 people in the unit, we'll put 2 in there. So each person sign up for how many they want. If you want to drop the meals, that this is a good time to do that, or if you want to increase it. But we have to have that each year to renew it. And those will be due back to accounting the 27th of November, and it'll be on the letter, and that's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so we can get them loaded and put in ready for January 1st. Does anybody have any questions about that? If you get it and you have questions, give us a call. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Lynette. Wasn't that Be Kind event awesome? Like, it was such a great thing. You know, it was so fun. We met down here, the employee council, and, Lynette had a bunch for life enrichment and for dining and for admin and for different residents. And it was so fun seeing all of the wonderful comments and all the people that got the flowers. It was a fun event. So hopefully we'll do that again. Michelle, you want to come up?
Good morning. I just have a couple of quick announcements for you. The first is next week, we will have a company here doing AV upgrades in this room. Yay. Very excited about that. So the gathering place will be closed all of next week, and you'll see people in here making things better for us. So we're excited about that. And then secondly, just want to encourage everyone to come out to the Halloween Pumpkin Bash on October 31st. The social committee is working hard on planning that and partnering with Life Enrichment, and we're very excited about having a fun event. We'll be here in the gathering place on Halloween at 2 p.m., so please mark your calendars and come out for that. Yes. We're also planning an annual memorial service to honor residents that have passed over this past year. So you'll see more information coming out about that. It's scheduled for November 1st, I believe at 10 a.m., but don't quote me. It will be on the calendar. So we're looking forward to honoring residents in that way this year, and hopefully everyone can come out for that as well. Any questions?
I watched online when our neighbor Pam Barefoot had given her talk, and on my TV, the blues were electric blue, the yellows were electric yellow or neon, the color was so off. I don't know if it's an adjustment or what.
It could be, thank you for that feedback. It could be an adjustment we need to make with the camera or the recording equipment, but we will definitely look into that. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Arthur, you want to come up?
Howdy. All right. Let's see. We had a couple events, great events towards the end of September. As you all know, I was out for those 2 weeks. I just want to say thank you to my team. They did a wonderful job completing those events, seeing them through. The wine dinner we did, a breakfast for dinner that we did, and then as well as a cookout in healthcare. All of those events were really well attended, and everybody seemed to enjoy themselves. Quick staffing update. Let's see, we have lost essentially three full-time people altogether, all in different areas. We've already hired for 2 of those full-time positions, and the other one we are currently seeking applicants, but we might have an internal applicant that is interested. We also lost a couple part-time kitchen associates, so those are our dishwashers, and we are interviewing for those part-time positions as well. Some of you may remember, or some of you may be aware of an association that we belong to. It's called the Senior Dining Association. This is an association based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's something that we've kind of dove into over the past couple of years. I've sent our assistant director, Matt, to a conference this week for the remainder of the week. So looking forward to him and what he has to bring back when he comes back. Those are always great events, kind of reinvigorate a little bit, get you around people that are doing the same job and you know, like minds, just working together, spitballing. So and learning new things as well. So that's really good. We've had a little bit of issues with our milk supply recently, specifically with the little containers, the little half pints. We are still buying gallons to make sure that we can kind of pour glasses, but bear with us through that. There may be an outage of one, so if you want 2%, be prepared for the possibility of skim milk, et cetera. We won't give you chocolate if you ask for white, but yes, that is a distributor issue. That's not an us issue. Well, it's actually a manufacturer issue, not a distributor. So our distributor is keeping in touch with us about what to expect as we continue to move forward. We received some of the small half pints in today, but again, we are keeping stock of those gallons to make sure that we can take care of healthcare as well as you all in independent living if you ask for milk in the restaurants. We have made an addition to our dessert menu, and that went into effect last week. We have substituted one of our less popular sugar-free or no sugar added options with a fresh fruit option weekly. So that's weekly. Our dessert menus run from Monday through Wednesday. We'll have the same menu in the cafe, and then Thursday through Saturday is a different menu. So you'll see that fresh fruit option often on that Thursday through Saturday in the cafe. So look at those dessert menus. We also made some other changes there. Those are the table numbers that are on the tables in the cafe. So keep an eye out for those adjustments there, and we hope you enjoy those. We do have wine club this afternoon. That's at 4 p.m. for those of you that are in the wine club. So just a quick reminder there. And while I'm on the topic of wine, we are adding an additional wine distributor. That's going to be Johnson Brothers. So that will help us to expand what we have available to us, as well as maybe give Tim a little bit of run for his money there, make him work a little harder. So that's all right with me. While we were actually doing that, we actually discussed the possibility of a wine dinner where there's kind of dueling sommeliers kind of thing. Get them to fight over the tastings for those. So that might be something in the upcoming months that we are able to accommodate. I think that'd be a lot of fun. 2 projects that are currently in the works that are in the finishing stages are we are installing a washer dryer in our kitchen. This is so that we can wash our towels that we use for cleaning. For reference, those towels cost, each towel that we have delivered, so we get a delivery each week from Alsco. So we rent those towels right now along with our table linens, aprons, and table napkins. We rent all those. So specifically, the towels themselves cost us $8.50 a year per towel on that rental. So we are going to be able to purchase, obviously with a little bit of upfront cost, able to purchase towels at 50 cents a piece and launder those until they are worn out. And then obviously we'll trade out and buy new, but nowhere near that $8.50. So that'll be a pretty significant annual savings in that area. We're also installing some digital menus out in front of the tavern where the tavern menu poster currently sits. So I'm working alongside with Carrie on getting that electric installed and getting some digital menu signs there. They will coordinate directly with the portal. So anytime we have the tavern menu uploaded on the portal, we'll be able to make sure that that's delegated straight to the specific television, essentially, that the tavern menu will go to. Same thing with Lakeside and Cafe, and that'll rotate, just like it does on the portal, that'll rotate day by day, week by week as we upload new menus. So look forward to seeing that. I would guess probably, well, educated guess, probably about a month on that. But we've already started acquiring the products and gotten with our electric company so that they can do that install there. We have made a slight adjustment in the realm of what you can order on Sunday brunch. Most of you probably haven't felt this at all. It's a very small thing, but we have gone to 1 egg or omelet order per person. Again, 99.9% of you wouldn't even feel that because most of you are ordering one egg or omelet on Sunday. So that was something that we put in place, I think, right before I left for my vacation. I think I've heard one comment, but other than that, no issues there. So thank you there. We do have Halloween and Thanksgiving coming up. I'll be putting out a memo likely this week or very first of next week for the Halloween. We'll be doing a party just like we have done in the past couple of years, similar to what we do for our New Year's Eve. So that'll be, you can wear your costumes, come down, kind of a cocktail, past hors d'oeuvres kind of thing there. So bars will be open. That should be a lot of fun. And then, of course, as we roll into the holidays, be on the lookout for these memos coming out with specifics about all the holiday events we have going on. This is that time of year where where we get a little into deeper water, and it'll be busy from here until mid-January. So look forward to those events. I know we are. So last thing, we've talked pretty significantly about expansion of hours, and then another thing that we've discussed is possibility of tavern being open on Saturdays. This is something that I hear on a regular basis. I want you to know I hear you, and we are planning to have the tavern open on Saturdays starting November 2nd. I'll be putting a memo out, so be looking out for that. The idea is both. Yep. Yes, correct. Same as it would be any other day of the week. The idea there, I want to be open with you on this. The idea there is that the tavern is open Monday through Friday all year long. Al Fresco is open Tuesday through Saturday in the summer months. The idea here for me that makes the most sense for me, and I've discussed this with the dining committee as well, is that the tavern goes to Saturdays when Al Fresco stops. Rolling into college football season, I think that'd be a really good trade-off there, and that's what we think we can handle with our current staffing patterns as well. So look forward to that. Look forward to a memo coming out with details about that and a hard date in place. But as of right now, we're looking at November 2nd for that. We'll also be looking at those hours of operation, specifically dinner hours of operation. Going to likely be on the same time frame in the same memo, so be on the lookout for that. Yes, Marty.
Arthur,
Yes, sir.
you said that November 2nd, the tavern will be open for lunch and dinner.
Lunch and, same as the rest of the week, so lunch for food, and then in the evening, evening hours for the drinks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you want to come watch an, afternoon football game, have a beer, that's there for you, as well as, if we have football games on, we'll put them on in there during lunch as well. Yes, Ms. Schulman?
Will the fresh fruit option for dessert be available in Lakeside as well as Edith Street?
It is not currently in that rotation, but it's not currently on a hard rotation in there, but that's something that I'm discussing with the chefs and seeing what we can do there about revamping that dessert menu as well to, not every week maybe, but very often try to get those fresh fruits in there. I know anytime we've put, fresh berries in Lakeside, that has been a huge hit, so, we see those patterns and try to lean into the ones that are favorites, of course, so.
I'd appreciate that option.
Thank you for the vote, absolutely. I think, yes, Ms. Meisenbach?
Thank you. Before COVID, it was an option to order a cup of hot cocoa in the cafe. And that is, today is a little bit nippy. I'm thinking about that.
We'll discuss that with Charlotte. I'm sure that wouldn't be too big of a deal, so we can have our Swiss Miss packets up there to make sure we can have you a cup of hot cocoa in the cafe. Yes, Ms. Gillen?
Question, now that we have 8,000 more people living here, what are we doing about space for, I exaggerate.
I know, I'm only picking.
What are we doing about dining space? And, I mean, you come through the tavern when there's a circle of plenty that goes all the way around all the walls. And so I'm interested to know, how are we expanding dining space?
So that's part of our master plan here on campus. It's something that is, April and I discuss on a fairly regular basis about what that may look like in the future. Again, I know it's part of the master planning, so specific time frame, I can't speak to it right at this very moment, but I know that that is something that is important here on this campus, and management, of course, is very aware of that. Currently, we are not, like you said, tavern in the evening times. There's a big group of people in there having drinks. It feels great. Everybody's partying in there, and we love that. So that is something that we are aware of, and tavern is one of those on the list of, hey, might need to make this a little bit bigger. So, and same thing at lunch. Sometimes it's packed in there. So yeah, the more popular a venue or restaurant is, then we're seeing that and looking at those patterns to see where we need to actually make those physical adjustments to the plant itself.
I'd like to suggest in terms of the tavern that somebody go over to the Elon Library, to their conference room, and look at their tables. They have unique tables that they're on rollers, which wouldn't hurt the carpet if they were moved, and they can make different designs. It's incredible what they can do with those tables. The tables in the tavern right now are useless to us when that big crowd gets sitting there, and we're just really literally all around the room.
Right.
Really. So maybe someone go over there to Elon Library and take a look at their tables.
Yeah, absolutely.
The second thing I want to do is just thank you. The wine dinners we just love them. I think your staff just deserves kudos.
Yeah.
And the second thank you is for keeping the patio open during September. We really enjoy it so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sandy. So we did keep the alfresco open through the end of September. This was a popular request among residents as well as the dining committee. So it was something we discussed. We looked at our staffing patterns. Can we do it? The answer was yes, so we did it. So this just goes to show, the more you tell me things, the more we are able to accommodate specific requests if possible. So please continue to bring those to me. Yes.
Hi, this isn't really a dining question, but it is we're getting bigger question.
Gotcha.
On Saturday afternoons, there are at least 3 tables of Marjan in the tavern, which now won't be able to happen. We're there because there's not room for us in the game room, card room, whatever they call it. So there isn't any place, there won't be any place for 3 tables for us to go.
Okay.
And so I'm just throwing that out for what it's worth, but, so you've kicked out 3 tables of Marjan. But I'm sure it'll be great to have the tavern open. I mean, so, but,
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, we'll look at it, but there, of course, there are multiple rooms on campus, or multiple areas on campus that we can take a look at that might be able to accommodate that Mahjong group. Thank you for the reminder there. I am aware that we have those Saturday Mahjong groups. Anything else? Last thing I have is just thank you for all your recommendations and suggestions. Again, the more I hear, the more to the front of my brain that it comes to, or that it lands, and I'm able to make those adjustments. And just thank you so much for all your feedback and your support. Oh, one more.
I just want to, for those of you that might not know, when we had the power outage and we were on generator, those of us at the wine dinner found out that all of the ovens don't work on generators. So the kitchen crew did all of the regular food that day and got it hot and got it out to everywhere, including our heritage place, and did the fantastic wine dinner.
Yes.
And so I just want to be sure everybody knows how hard they worked that day.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely, and just to speak to that briefly, there are a handful of pieces of equipment in our kitchen, along with some smaller refrigeration, not our main refrigeration, that are not currently on a generator. This is something that Carrie and I discuss on a fairly regular basis. He's very aware of, and I know that we are currently looking at a new generator, and coming from speaking out of turn, but the idea is that should be able to take more of a load. And yeah, it's on. Yeah, that generator specifically is on order. So, we look forward to maybe having more equipment on the generator when that happens. So, thank you so much again.
Thank you, Arthur.
One more thing, we do. We have carpet cleaning that I am currently getting on schedule for Lakeside, as well as in our tavern. So if there's going to be any interruption in service, of course, I'll communicate that with you. The only thing that I could possibly see would be tavern, as it's going to happen during the week, and tavern is open Monday through Friday. But again, I'll communicate that to you all if there is going to be some interruption in service there.
Thanks, Arthur. Anything else?
I'm just upset nobody asked me about my
Happy Pills. You were going to? Betsy said she was going to. Yeah. Yes, just to speak a little bit about the generator. So that was included in the 2024 capital project. This is crazy with supply chain and demand. We ordered that generator in the spring, I think, late spring. Once it was approved, and it had a 40-week lead time. So we're actually having to carry that into 2025. So we're hoping early spring, but we ordered it as soon as we could, but the lead time was 40 weeks, which is crazy to me. So once that generator is in and installed, it will power pretty much everything in the kitchen and then some. So we got a big boy generator. So just a couple updates from me, and then I had a few questions that were submitted. I always give a little update on the merger. Obviously, the merger closed, so now Contura is our parent company. Yay. So that happened on September the 30th. So that was made official. Most of you, or all of you, should have gotten a memo, seen some things on websites and that sort of thing. So some things that we'll see right away from a team member side, and I've touched on this a little bit, specifically is in January 1 of 2025, our team members will see new health insurance, new benefits, better benefits. We decided on a plan, or Contura, the HR department decided on it's a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. It's a little bit more robust than what we have had because we have a lot more employees. So look into that. The other thing that our team members will see, so with the Wellspring, we had a 403B plan. So with the new Contura merger, all of our team members will fall under a 401K plan. So that's good. Other things that we've talked about in the past is just having more resources. You know, we've got with Legacy Brightspire, they had more consultants, if you will. There's a sales type consultant that's working with Betsy and Clark. There's a healthcare consultant that works with Cindy. There's a quality assurance consultant. There's lots of consultants that we've really never had before. So it's a welcome. Most days, it's a welcomed benefit. So other things that I'm working with Hank on are some consolidation. We're looking at a lot of our vendors. What can we do to consolidate? You know, obviously, if we've got 5 or 6 campuses and we consolidate to one food vendor or we consolidate to one medical supply, we'll hopefully have that benefit of economies of scale. So we'll get a better pricing on that and have some cost efficiencies there. So working on that. And just to let you guys know, because I hear it every now and then, from our perspective, it's been a very positive merger from our standpoint. Hank, you've met him. He's a 6'8" guy. So he's very easy to work with. He's been extremely supportive. He was here during the budget process, and quite frankly, really campaigned for us to be able to add a person in facilities. And really, I feel really supported by him. And the same from the other consultants too. It's not a, well, this is how we do it and this is how we're gonna do it. It's more of, let's work together, let's be collaborative. You learn from us and we learn from you. So it's been very positive. I think it's important for you all to hear that. So. What else? Lots of questions about master planning. I've said it, I think, in a couple of fireside chats and maybe in here. In July, Steve sent out 3 RFPs to different architectural groups, and we have gotten those proposals back. They came back at the end of September. So currently, our construction guys, our VPs of construction, and then Steve are meeting with the 3 groups to talk about, you know, who's going to be the best. And once they narrow that down to the top 2, that'll be presented to the board and vote on who is going to be doing the layout and the plans for our master planning, which will include a new apartment building. That'll be the next apartment building in conjunction with a complete refurb of healthcare. That'll kind of coincide. One of the questions that I received was kind of the timing on that. We're looking at 2 to 3 years, and it may be less. Once we have the architect and all the plans and the renderings get drawn up, we're going to move forward, full steam ahead. It was actually kind of exciting yesterday. We had a big manager meeting here. It was all of my managers, all of Wellspring managers. Steve was here. Hank was here. Hank kind of closed the meeting, and forgive me for the term, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I think it's pretty. It speaks volumes of how Hank sees our campus. But he was talking about how excited he is and the things that he sees happening here at the Village at Brookwood and how friendly people are and the potential here. And he referred to us as a badass campus. So I was pretty, I kind of laughed about it and then, but it also made me smile too. So he thinks we're a pretty cool campus. So, and as do we, so.
We're gonna get T-shirts made.
Yeah. If you want a T-shirt, let Betsy know. So Lynette mentioned it, so we were able to finalize the 2025 budget. So that was finalized at our board meeting in September. I think it was September, I'm looking at Barry, 22nd, maybe? 24th. Yeah, something like that. So that was finalized and approved by the board. For our capital for 2025, it came in right at $2 million. Some of the things that are included in that are to complete the Garden Home generator project, a couple of other generator projects here within the community. One thing I'm very excited about, you know, we always consult with our BACA committee, our Budget Advisory Committee, and they bring ideas to us. They talk to you and get your ideas of things that you want to see and things that you feel like we need here on campus. So there are 9 resident items that were brought before us that were approved as part of that capital. I know you're looking at me like, okay, what are those 9 things? I'll speak to a few of them. One is a electric door or automatic door opener right out here A lot of people spoke about that, so that was approved. What else? A chairlift in the pool. That's something that we've never had. Quite frankly, I'm surprised that we haven't had it, for it to being, accessible for those individuals that want to be able to get into the pool. What else am I missing, Carrie? We will be having a shed built for bicycles and electric bicycles, obviously mainly for those in the apartment building. A number of you have sent me articles on electric bikes, batteries exploding, whole apartment buildings or whole homes burning down, and that's a huge, obviously, safety concern. So that was included in that as well, among some others. So, what else? Lynette talked about the rate letters coming out. And on the rate letter, it's at the bottom in the last paragraph, but we will also be holding a meeting on November the 7th here in this room, as we always do. It's usually 2 to 3 weeks after the annual fee increase letters go out. Then we give you guys an opportunity to ask questions about the fee increases, ask questions about the 2025 budget. So please see that and mark your calendar if you'd like to come and be a part of that. What else? Leading Age, Arthur talked about Matt being a part of them, really being a participating in the Association for Dining, Senior Dining Association. Matt's in Las Vegas. I will be going to the Leading Age National Conference the end of this month. It's always really good to go and see lots of ideas of what other communities are doing and what's new, cutting edge and innovative in the continuing retirement world. So I look forward to going to that. We've said this before, just please be if there's confusion about a topic or about a memo that comes out, please come to us. Please call me, email me, stop me in the hall. Same with these folks up here. If that doesn't happen, it continues to circulate on that fantastic grapevine that we have here. So I would rather people just ask and come to the root of the source, so we can answer appropriately. I would appreciate that. Nursing. So Cindy's not here. I can't even fill her shoes of all of her wit and comedy that she brings. But I will say just 2 things. The Everything Clinic was fantastic. Thank you for everyone that showed up, came out for that. We had 176 residents come through that day. That might be our biggest attendance, so that's great. So thank you for doing that. Secondly, I think we've mentioned in the past, we partner with Alamance Community College with their CNA program. Their nursing assistants come over and do some of their clinicals and training here. In the past, we had partnered with Elon University, and there had been some changeover in their School of Nursing department, so that kind of fell off. But about a month ago, I met with, most of you know Diane Persons over the Anatomical Gift. I met with her and then Kathy, who is the dean of the School of Nursing, and talked about ways that we can collaborate with the nursing students, the PT students, and they also have a new PA program there. So they came over last week, had lunch, toured, were super excited about the possibilities of doing some clinical rotations here, doing some work in the clinic, and just shadowing people and having that intergenerational experience with you residents and working with us here too. So it's very positive. Lastly, try not to get emotional. I did send out a memo, but a huge thank you to all of you for all that you've done for my hometown. Most of you have seen pictures. The devastation is unreal, but through the donations of you, whether it's dry goods or non-perishables or monetary donations, the community's thriving. They have a long, long road ahead of them, but the degree of which you all showed up and donated and supported, I can't even put into words. So my sister, I drove the Village at Brookwood truck up there, and my sister said, "I've never been so happy to see the Village at Brookwood." She was like, "I could barely see your head over the top." But I came with generators and all the great things that you guys have donated, so much appreciated. I know several people have asked about now clothes donations and blankets and coats. It did snow up there a little bit last night, so so they're not only struggling with the loss, but now cold temperatures. So I think that, you know, the continuing giving spirit of all people, especially you all here on this campus, will go on for months, because it's not something that's going to end, you know, in the next month or so, too. It's something that's going to continue to go on. So I appreciate all your ideas and all your support, and we look forward to honoring some of those ideas. I know, you're welcome. I've heard from a number of you. I know the Schulmans used to live in Brevard. I know the McDonald's met up in the western part of the state. So the mountains are very near and dear to a lot of people here, not just me. So and that shows. So but thank you very much. Any questions? Oh, I did have one other question. My apologies. So one question that was submitted was about when you push your pendant or you have a fall or an incident overnight, especially on second and third shift. Basically, what should the responder do? When is 911 called? All those specific things. So obviously, when things happen here on first shift, you know, the masses come running because there's a lot of us here. If someone has a fall at 2 o'clock in the morning, pendant is pushed, the first person that's going to get there is security, right? The security person. Depending on what that security person finds, if I see Candace, I'm going to pick on you, Candace. If Candace is sitting up on her floor and said, oh gosh, I went to the bathroom and I tripped over the rug getting back. She says, I'm fine, I just need a little bit of help getting up. She's not complaining of pain, she's not writhing in pain, she's not calling out. The security person is going to offer to call a nurse from our health care, and to depend upon what Candace says, because there's no visible signs of injury or no pain, then that's up to that resident and that security guard. Now, if Candace is laying in the floor saying, my leg is killing me, I'm in a horrible amount of pain, that security person is going to call over to Windsor and ask Windsor to send a nurse. The nurse is going to come over, and they're going to do an assessment of that person based on their nursing skills and their nursing judgment. Most of the time, if there's pain, if they can't move, they're going to call 911, okay? And that's for a fall. Now, if you start having chest pains in the middle of the night and are able to call 911, you do that before you even push your pendant. I'm never going to tell anyone not to call 911. But back to the fall, it really depends on situation to situation. The other part of that question is, when is that family notified? So it's a little bit different. If it's a double occupancy and there's a spouse within that home, we're not going to notify a responsible party because you've got somebody there. If it's Carrie and Lynette, then Carrie's going to know that Lynette has fallen and be able to communicate to the family what the course of action is. Now, if Betsy falls and she's a single person and she has an injury or she's being treated, sent out to the hospital, we're going to call that primary contact, and we typically always do. Now, and I'm going to say this so I hope I don't hurt or offend anyone, some of y'all are stubborn. And I said, yeah, right. I'm pretty stubborn too. I get that from my dad. We constantly have people say, oh, I'm fine. I don't want you to call 911. And you're holding your shoulder or you're holding your elbow. And the nurse, Tabitha says, well, I really think that it's best for you to go to the hospital. No. I am not going to the hospital. If I start feeling worse, I'll call somebody. There's that fine line of, okay, you need to be seen, but you're refusing to be seen. Now, I do know on a few occasions, a resident has said, I'm not going to the hospital, and Tab has said, you need to go to the hospital, I'm calling the ambulance. And then it comes between you and that ambulance driver, whether you refuse to go to the hospital or not. But regardless, if it's a single individual, we're gonna call that primary contact and let them know, hey, Betsy has fallen, she hit her head, she's got an abrasion, but she's refusing to go to the hospital. We've called EMS, but she's refusing, again, to go to the hospital. So we're hopefully going to be able to push you guys to go. But again, they're all different situations. Make sense? Clarity? Okay. All right. Yes, Roger.
One last question. Could you update us on the planning of the disposition of the
Edgewood Place?
Edgewood Place?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Thanks.
So Edgewood Place, so that's part of the master planning. The 3 proposals that we got back were, it included Edgewood Place to have that be a part of the whole healthcare renovation, whether we use that for our skilled unit or we move assisted living out there. So it'll really be dependent upon the plans that each architect comes back with. I will tell you, 2 of the 3 architects did put in there that they're proposing to keep the bones or the structure of the building and just, do some reconfiguration within the walls of the existing unit, which, quite frankly, makes me happy. I know when we had that assessed in 18, I think, it was just $2 million just to tear the building down. So it makes more of a financial sense to keep the bones and structure of the current Edgewood building. Yes, Warren?
Can you help me? Some people have requested that we collect donations, and I'm not sure how that works. I don't know the process how to collect or have people request their donations. What would be the process?
So the question is, Warren's getting questions about how do people donate. I've took several loads up there. I know Max took a couple of loads up. People are still, it's kind of shifted a little bit. Instead of donating non-perishables and water and that sort of thing, people are shifting to clothing, like I said earlier, coats, boots, blankets, cleanup supplies. What I would say, we're still collecting those in the administration or admin office. So reach out to Michelle Boydston for that. I know I've had conversation with a couple of other residents about wanting to do a coat drive later in the year, and also potentially like an angel tree type thing for kids closer to the holiday season. And I think with those 2 bigger projects, that'll need to be something that we have a couple of meetings about and put out memos and flyers and spread the word about that. But if you're wanting to donate items now, just call Michelle Boydston. Thank you. Yes, Sue?
About the new apartment buildings, do we know yet whether there will be 2 next to our apartment building and then also a 3rd one down on that street that's used now as a staging area? Or what's the plan there? Or do we have a plan yet?
Okay, good questions. So currently, it's just 1 apartment building that the master plan. So master planning is usually in several different stages, but the one that will happen, the first one that will be happening will be just for 1 apartment building, and that is, I've heard 2 different scenarios. It will either be a 24-unit apartment building or a 36, so anywhere between 24 and 36-unit apartment building, and it will come off the existing apartment building. The goal, which is really, all of you know this, what's really good about this community is that you can get from one end of the building to the next without having to go outside. And so we would really love to keep that same format. Later on, has there been conversation in stage 3 or 4 or phase 3 or 4 of an additional apartment building? That has been the conversation, but that's not on the blueprint right now. As far as Ridgeview Court, which is the staging area for Duncan Circle right now. So originally it was developed, I think, for 9 garden homes. And it really, honestly, Sue, it depends on what the market is. If the market's leaning more to everyone's wanting garden homes, then that might be what we do. Now, from an economic standpoint, if we were to put an apartment building down there, and it could be a high-rise, not that we would do a high-rise on our campus, that would be more beneficial and more efficient for us in terms of volume. But that's not been decided yet, and that's not on in the next couple of phases. Yes. Any other questions? Yes, Ron?
Thank you. It's interesting you're saying that building would be connected or a part of our existing apartment building. That also means that number of people would be passing all the first floor additional people flashing the first floor residents on
Yeah.
that building. And I hope that it can get rather noisy at times.
Sure.
And I'm hoping that y'all are trying, and now they're putting, I guess, the vinyl flooring down, so we'll lose the little bit of sound deadening from the carpet.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that you're taking this traffic situation into account.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question and good point, Ron. We absolutely take, the traffic, the acoustics, that will absolutely be taken into consideration, as well as traffic patterns. Obviously, will be exits and entrances. I've also seen some samples of almost like a breezeway type feel to be able to connect, not just using the one first floor corridor. So, but all these points and ideas, those are definitely nice to hear, because then when we meet with the construction and the architects, then we can take those ideas back to them and say, these are some of the concerns from our current residents. So thank you. Yes, Sandy.
Will we get to see the plans at all? Will residents get to
Yeah.
see the plans
So
before the construction starts?
Yeah, so the question is, will the residents get to see the plans? Yes, so, kind of like we have with Duncan Circle and the, what do you call that, display, I guess, out there. You will get to see the idea or the whole concept of how it's going to be. And just like we did with Duncan Circle, right before the project started, we met as a group here in the gathering place. It was an opportunity for the residents to ask questions, for us to kind of present how the construction flow is going to go. And we'll do that just the same as we did with Duncan Circle. Probably. I'm getting all these, I'm getting input. So my answer to that would be, not exactly, but what I will say, like what Ron just did, and quite frankly, I get emails from residents all the time. If you can say, it's great that we're expanding, but I'm really worried about the space and dining, or I'm worried about the noise level and the traffic coming through the building. So send me emails to get input that way, because that does not fall on deaf ears. I can assure you of that. So, yes, Betsy.
So when you're considering what to do with Edgewood Place, do you think that there's any consideration of keeping some kind of space for the crew, or is that just going to go away?
I'd like to defer that. No. That's a good question, and that's something that we would have to look at. Obviously, that's the storage space for the crew, and the crew has been very instrumental in helping the account or the balance of the Resident Assistance Fund grow. So we don't want to see that go away, and that would just be some of the planning that would go into that. And that would be conversation with the ABC group and with me. Okay. So, but I've got it noted. Thank you. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here today and all your great questions. Never mind. Carrie's got one thing.
I received an email this weekend. Somebody, I guess, that was walking their pet had dropped poopings and had it in a bag. Hopefully, they didn't throw it there at the generator at the end of the apartment building, but that's where it was found. So please make sure if you have that, throw it in the trash to throwing it in the yard or in the gravel. Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a good day. Take care.